welcome my lovelies, welcome Lulu, welcome Emily and Hannah in Sydney and Emma in Melbourne joining us later. Welcome to the final stretch class on Zoom for this period. Yeah, just a little thank you from me for all of you joining me these last couple of months. It's been particularly glorious starting my week with you, and I definitely feel a sense of, well, some feelings about classes shifting and moving, so I just wanted you to know super grateful for all of you joining me. In light of that, I wanted to share with you an intention for the class, which I've been working on myself in my own practice this week, and that is acknowledging the different emotional currents that are running through all of us now. Even though things are opening back up, there's still some uncertainty and excitement and confusion. And one thing I've been focusing on in my morning silence, I'll call it, because I don't necessarily go into a deep meditation, but I often just sit for a minute or so and take some breaths, is I come back to one thing that I'm really proud of that I created in this really chaotic time, and that I'm going to continue through when everything goes back to normal. So we're going to go into our breaths together, and I invite you to, as we breathe, focus on one thing that's come up for you in the last couple of months that's a new experience. Maybe it's a new thought pattern, a new behavior, a new way of reacting to something in a positive way. Maybe it was something you did and that you're really proud of it, and that you actually want to take into this next time, which, I don't know, are we going to call this next time the precedented time? I don't know. Into this next period. So, yeah, one thing I'm really proud of is spending time with just a few close friends one-on-one and going for walks with them. That was something that I don't always normally do, and I've been really loving that, and that's something I'm going to take into the next few months. So have a think about what that is for you. We're going to come into our space together, lovely seated position, hands on knees, opening up through the chest, so trying not to pull the shoulders back, but feeling that beautiful opening in the chest, lifting through the spine, eyes are closed. And just check in on the body. Give it a little sway if you need to. If you need to shift around the body a little to kind of settle in. Deep breaths in through the nose. And then out through the mouth. Becoming aware of any noises around you. Music, clocks, maybe birds outside, dogs barking. Acknowledging those noises, and come back to the breath. And I invite you now to focus on just one thing that you're really proud of that came out of this last few months. Maybe it was something you'd done before but hadn't had as much focus on it, and that you'd like to take it into your future. It might be a behavior, it might be a mindset, it might be an activity, it might be something in your own self-development, it might be something really big, and also might be something really small. They're all valid. So choose one, focus on that, and think about how that's going to integrate into your life. Deep breath. And big release. As you breathe in, fill the belly. And as you release, exhale, navel to spine. Maybe 3 more. And release. Breathing in. And release. Gently opening the eyes. Nice. Interlocking the fingers. stretching up. So we're going to open up, stretch out the lats underneath the shoulders, give the upper body a little bit of space there. Nice. Beautiful. Starting with the head, gentle circles, feeling all those little crackles and crunchies that generally come up in the morning, particularly after we've been lying down, and back the other way. And again, you might find one side is a little tighter than the other. That's very normal. Nice. We're going from right to left, keeping up that breathing. Up and down. Hands on our shoulders and twisting from the navel. So not so much from the head and the neck, but think about that lovely twist from the navel going up your back into your spine. Deep breath out. And release. Nice. Right hand on the side of the head, left hand goes behind the back. And just letting gravity take the head down to the side. Make sure that this shoulder isn't coming forward, so bring it back and down a little. Feeling that stretch across the shoulder, through the neck. And breathe. This one can get pretty intense because there's a lot of tension here. So just go really slowly when we release it. I like to bring my right hand around and cup my face and actually encourage the head back. Nice. Give it a little bit of support. Roll the shoulders. Another side. Left hand goes on the side of the head. Right hand behind my back, pulling my right shoulder back and down. Deep breath and release. Beautiful. And release. One more. Left hand cupping the head, bringing the head back nice and gentle. And then rolling the shoulders again. Nice. Interlocking the fingers, letting gravity pull the head down, stretching out the back of the neck and the top of the spine. And then releasing that and reversing it, fingertips on the ground, supporting the head and bring the head back. Just for a moment. Nice. We're going to bring our left hand onto our right knee, our right hand on fingertips on the ground. Create a bit of resistance with your fingertips. We're going to twist all the way around. Again, focusing on that twist coming from the navel and the spine rather than, we don't want to pull the head of the neck round at all, in fact. Really just twisting through the spine, through the navel. Inhale. And as we exhale, twist further. Beautiful. Reaching around to the other side. So my right hand goes on my left knee. My left fingertips go on the ground, create some resistance. Twisting from the navel. Deep breath in. And release. One more breath. And release. Nice. Bring our hands onto our knees. We're going to do a little wave now as we breathe. So we're going to bring the head forward. Drop the shoulders, come all the way forward, and then wave our head and spine up. So you should feel your back going to this kind of shape. Nice. Coming forward, letting the shoulders drop. Now we're going to bring the head up and come all the way back. Really push off your knees as we come forward. So I'm pushing off and coming back. Nice. Inhaling here and exhale. Wave the spine, the head, the neck and the shoulders. Nice, one more. Oh, feels so good. Gorgeous. We're going to come down into child's pose. If you need to put a blanket down or pillows down to support your knees, you can. Beautiful. Alrighty. So you may find it helpful, for example, to pad out the knees slightly if that's an issue for you. So you can simply bring a towel or a blanket down, even on top of a yoga mat. Today we're anatomically focusing on opening up the hips, which is going to be deeply satisfying for us. Knees are going to go wide, and then our toes are going to touch slightly. So just go wherever you can in this pose. It can be a little either incredibly relaxing, or if your hips are tight, it can be a challenge. So just go gently. If you need to come out of it at any point and wriggle a bit, that's totally fine. Knees wide, toes together. Gently walking the hands down, like so. Beautiful. And just resting the forehead gently on the ground. Take a deep breath here. And really release here. Acknowledge that tension in the hips. When we first go into this pose, it can feel pretty tight. So just start to have even a little wiggle from side to side with the hips. And just really acknowledging that area, the mind to body connection. Deep breath. And as you exhale, I want you to send that breath into the hips. Really think about the blood flow to the area, sending oxygen to the area. And just letting the hips relax further. The longer we stay here, the more we breathe, the more we relax. One more breath. Nice. Bring your hands up a little bit for me. I'm going to get you to bring your knees in just a tiny bit, hip width apart. Scoot your feet back. So now my knees and my feet are in a straight line and hip width apart now. I'm going to walk my hands forward. Keep walking forward. We're going to go into what's called puppy pose. Really great for straightening out the top part of our spine. So bring your hips and your glutes in the air. Walk those hands forward, and again, release the head down. Now you may feel a stretch here in your back, under your arms, across your arms. Deep breath. And release. Let the forehead relax down. Two more breaths. One more. Bring the head up and gently walking the hands back. Beautiful. We're now going to come down onto our back. We're going to work on some of our dynamic movements for opening up the hip before we go into our static stretches. So if you'd like to support your head and neck, you can bring a pillow underneath the neck, and you can either have a rolled up towel or a pillow or anything to raise underneath your knees. A pillow would be great, anything to raise it up. In fact, I think I might just use my pillow here. Yeah, so we're nice and supported here. Lovely. So I'm going to get you to bring your pillow underneath your hips. So you're just going to lift your hips as much as you can, even if that's just a few centimeters, that's great. Because what we're doing here is we want to get that lovely pelvic tilt going. So I don't want to be arching in my back at all. I want the complete opposite. So I want to squeeze the glutes, press the hips, boop, under, hold that position, and then bring the knees up to my chest. Interlock the fingers, deep breath in. Big mind to body connection here. Put your awareness into those hips. When you come into a new position, you'll often feel that tension. Just acknowledge where it's tense in your body and start to relax those areas. For example, just then, I realized that my shoulders were coming forward. As I brought my awareness to my body, I kept my fingers interlocked, but I let my shoulders release down. And in turn, I feel the hip start to release also. Leaving our left knee up with our fingers interlocked over the knee, I want you to extend the right leg out straight. I'm going to get you to point your toes of both legs, so we're putting some tension in both legs. And this is the area here that we're stretching right now. This is our hip flexor. So I want you to point this right toe toward that wall as though someone's actually pulling your leg. The wall's trying to pull your leg towards it. With your hands, bring that knee in the opposite direction towards your chest. So you've got that kind of opposing, kind of pulling on an elastic band kind of feel going. Nice deep breath in. Through the nose, fill the belly. Exhale. Every time you exhale, I want you to put your mind into the hip flexor. Think about bringing that breath down the body and into that area. Oxygenate the area. Blood flow to the area. Deep breath. Nice. One more. And release. Lovely. Hug the knees into the belly. And release the other leg down. Beautiful. So now my right knee is hugged into my belly. My left leg is down straight. I'm going to point both toes again, so creating some resistance and creating tension in both my legs. My fingers are interlocked across my right knee. So there's pressure. I'm really pulling that right knee into my chest. At the same time, my left toe is really pulling towards that wall. Again, that lovely elastic band feeling. And the focus is on that left hip flexor. Deep breath in. Relax the shoulders down. Pull the knee to the chest. Breathing in. Feel the belly. Feel that release. With each exhale, you should feel that area open up just a little bit more with each exhale. And release. Beautiful. Bring both knees into the chest and just gently rock a little side to side. A little bit of movement here. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to go into our dynamic movement here, which we've been working on, interlacing the fingers around the left knee. And we're going to bring our right leg out, keeping it bent. We're going to create a little circle here. So my knees bent. Go nice and slowly. If you need to use your hand to kind of guide the leg around, that's okay too. That's totally fine. What I want is that circle of movement in the hip joint. Nice and gentle. You may feel some little crackles or crunchies or some funny little kind of gugunk feelings. Technical term there. Oh, did you guys hear that? Mine just made the crunchiest noise. As all the gases in between your joints release, this is a really beautiful, like, safe way to open out the hip. It can release a lot of gas around the tendons and the joints. Makes the weirdest noises. Back the other way, so opposite direction. Nice. If you feel a bit more confident with the movement, you can even extend the leg out if you like. So you can start to bring it out a little straighter. Keeping that tension on the left knee to keep it in place. Nice. Again, if that's too much, keeping the knee bent. And if it's also too much, just create small circles. Just go to wherever your body wants to be today. Don't push it. Hugging the knees in, deep breath. Release. And we're going to go to the other side. So I'm going to need to shift so that I don't hit my wall. Great. So holding the right knee in, and this time I'm going to bring my left knee down and around and creating little circles in my hip joint. If you need to use the hand to support the leg as it comes around, that's okay too. This hand, left hand. Nice. If you feel more confident with the movement, you can create bigger circles and have the leg extend out. Not super straight, there's still a little bend in my knee. Again, if that's too much, you can create very small circles. This is very much at your own pace. Back the other way, so reversing the direction of the circle. Back the other way. Starting to feel those little crackles and crunchies, but also acknowledging our breath and the oxygen to the area. And that lovely release to the area that dynamic movement brings. Beautiful. One more. Nice. Bring your knees to chest. I'm going to get you guys to hug your knees in. Stay there. So hugging the knees in. Beautiful. Deep breath. Bring the feet down onto the floor. We're going to slide our pillow out, or any kind of support you had there. Coming up onto your heels, so your fingertips are going to touch your heels here. Knees are hip width apart. Lifting up the toes. And I'm going to get you to start by tilting the pelvis. So again, we don't want that curve back. We want to flatten the back, so the belly button to spine. Starting to tilt the pelvis up. We're just going to gently raise into a very slow glute bridge. So my pelvis is going to come up first, and I want to come up really slowly, one little vertebrae at a time. You can put your feet flat on the ground. So notice the top of my back is still on the ground, coming up really, really slowly. Opening up those hip flexors, squeeze your bum as hard as you can, come all the way up. And if you have this available, tucking the shoulders in, like so. This can be a little bit too much, so if this is already enough for you, stay here. If you'd like to extend this practice, you're going to tuck the shoulders under, interlock the fingers, and hold here. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the belly, open up the hip flexor, breathe in, open the chest, push off your heels, all the pressures on your heels, breathe, squeeze the bum, one more, and release. We're going to come out of this really slowly. Take the hands out, palms open, and I want you to roll down really slowly, starting at the top of the spine. So I'm going to come down one little vertebrae at a time. Top of my back, my hips are still up, gently rolling down one little vertebrae at a time. So they're still really tensing my glutes, they're quite active. The lower back comes down, tilting the pelvis forward and under. My hips come down, and then finally my glutes. Whew, gorgeous. Hug the knees in, give yourself a little hug, because you earned it, you deserve it. Nice hug, little rock from side to side, massage the sacrum. Whew. Glutes on fire in the morning. Beautiful, we've got one more stretch to go. I'm going to get you to roll your knees to one side, hands onto the floor, push up safely. Nice. I'm going to get you a pillow, and we're going to finish up with our hip flexor stretch. pad up your knees as much as you need to. We're going to get my thicker pillow for this. I always like to pad my knee when I go into this stretch. So this is one we've been working on quite a lot this month. My knee is stacked underneath my hip, so my left knee is underneath my left hip. My right foot goes forward in line with my right hip. So my feet are not in line with each other, they're hip width apart. We're going to scoot ourselves forward. If you need to check your own alignment in your video, that can also be really helpful. And remember, we don't want to duck bum, we want to tuck that pelvis in. So really squeeze the bum, pressing the hips forward, feeling that stretch on our left hip flexor. And then scooting the toe forward if you need to. And now we're going to gently release. If you'd like to extend the stretch, you can interlock the fingers and come up. Try not to tilt the hips, try to maintain that pelvic tilt up and under. Feeling that stretch. Release the shoulders down. Come down a little further. Beautiful. Other side. Come out of it really nice and slowly. Last stretch for the practice today, and then we'll go into our meditation. Oh, feeling it in this side today. All right, beautiful. So right knee under right hip, left ankle under left knee, tilting that pelvis under, squeezing the bum, breathing in, exhale to come up. If that's too much, you can put your hands on your knee, just gently. Try not to lean forward, keeping the torso nice and upright, pressing in that pelvis, feeling that stretch here. Breathe into that space. If you want to extend the stretch, interlocking the fingers, and release. One more breath. Beautiful. Gorgeous. All right, let's come down into our final meditation, our body scan. If you'd like to put a pillow underneath your head and your neck and one underneath your knees to raise up your hips, you can. If you need to take a little sip of water, hydrate. Gorgeous. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So begin by relaxing the legs. Open the palms to the ceiling. So just let your hands drop wherever they need to. Wiggle your hips a little bit if you need to release that area. Wiggle the shoulders. And just settle into the pose. When you're ready, you can close your eyes. And again, bring your awareness to any sounds around you. And now we're going to bring our awareness to how the air feels around our body. What is the quality of the air? Is it cool? Is it warm? Is there one part of your body that feels a little cooler or warmer than the other? Just settle into this final pose. We're going to start by bringing our awareness to our toes, across the top of our feet, our ankles, and then running up our shins. Becoming aware of our knees, across the top of our thighs, and then running along and into the hips. Acknowledging all that really great work you did today in releasing that area and your mind to body connection, and how much more flexible and mobile and relaxed they feel, taking you into your day. Bringing your awareness across the belly, up the rib cage, across your shoulders, running down your arms to your elbow, your forearm, your wrist, and then around your hands. Sweeping back up the hands, the arms, across the shoulders, and then running up the neck. If there's any tension in the jaw, you can let that go. If there's any tension in your forehead or your brow, try to release the area around the brow. Run your awareness across the top of your head. Just give yourself a little head massage in your mind. Little gentle massage across the head, across the forehead and the temples. Run the awareness back down your face, chin, the neck, sweeping across the chest, down the belly, through the pelvis, the hips, around the top of the leg, the knee, down your shin, your ankle, underneath the feet, and then through the toes. Acknowledging all that lovely work you did today in releasing tension in your body, and the acknowledgement of something that you are really proud of in this period that you're going to take into the next few months in your life. And 3 deep breaths together. Inhale and release. Inhale and release. Inhale and release. Start wiggling your fingers and your toes. We're going to start to bring our awareness back into the room. You can bring your hands up in front of you. Start to shake out the hands and the arms a little. You can even bring your feet up, give them a little shake. Start to wake up the body. Open your eyes when you're ready. Bring your awareness back to the room. Hugging the knees to chest. Dropping your knees to one side. Pushing off the ground to come up safely. And coming back into our seated position. And hands to heart center. Namaste, and thank you so much for joining me today and for this year. Mwah. I really look forward to seeing all of you in real life. Mwah. Thank you.